Hello everyone, Craft here, and welcome back to the channel. It's been quite a while since I last uploaded, and I apologize for that. It was mainly because I've been really busy working on scroll tanks, and I wanted to reach a stage of completion before uploading, and as I had started working on a number of things, it took me a while to reach that goal. However, from now on I'll try to upload more regularly, albeit with less new content per video. With that being said, let's kick off the video with the new features. Enjoy! Starting off, we have the hangar. This is your base, where you store your tanks, replenish their ammunition, upgrade them, etc. It's still pretty bare right now, as you can see. There's a surrounding forest, the main building which is empty, and the concrete platform. I will for sure decorate it in the future. Right now you can choose between 4 tanks, the M1 Abrams, the Tiger 1, which were the 2 tanks in the last video, and 2 new tanks, the German Jagdpanther, which is a tank destroyer, which means it has a more powerful gun, but less mobility, and finally the Russian T-34-85, a highly mobile tank with a decent gun, good armor, and that's because it's a medium tank. Up on top you'll see there's 3 buttons, the play button which would take you into the game, a settings button which lets you tweak your settings, and finally a quit button to exit the game. Let's take a look at the settings. As you can see, when you click it, it'll open a settings tab. Here the settings will be clubbed into different categories: general, display, where you can adjust the brightness and resolution, graphics, etc. However, this doesn't work yet because I just wanted to lay the foundation for these steps. From now on it will be easy to add settings. Next, controls tab, where you'll be able to bind your keybinds, so for example going forward and backward with different keys. An audio tab to adjust the volume, etc. And then finally just 3 tabs which I haven't named yet. The quit button opens a tab where you can exit the game or cancel. I'm not gonna click exit because it's obvious what that would do. So let's click cancel. Okay, now let's hit play. That blue screen you just saw there occurs because the game hasn't loaded yet. I plan to add a loading screen there. Now, other things you'll notice are those new trees. All of them have some swinging animations. And on the sides, I've actually changed the bushes to a more organic look. They too have animations. We're gonna get closer now, and I'm gonna stay quiet so you can hear the new engine sounds. Now, if we look closer, you'll see the bushes fade away when you get closer to increase visibility, and shake when you're inside them. You can see they're now crossable, so you might ask, what happens if I go through them? Well, you'll get this message. You have a timer to return back to the playable area, or you'll die when the timer runs out. Up next, you can see a road. This is what I'm going to talk about next. The new terrain tiles I added. First off, we have some basic terrain. Flat terrain, which is the most common, and bumpy, which I added to test the suspension physics. Next, we have a river. We have a bridge that we can use to cross in the middle, and some flowing water below it, with some nice reflections and refractions. After this we have an asphalt road, which goes across the map. You can drive on it, but I don't suggest you go too far, or you'll find yourself outside the combat zone and very soon, dead. Behind it is a dirt path, another variant of the road. There's not much to say about it really. It's the same as the other road. Sometimes we'll stumble upon a checkpoint. These are rare ground types, and they'll save your progress when the campaign mode is implemented. They're too tall right now and obstruct your vision, but I will make them shorter in the future. Here we have a Siegfried Line segment, a big concrete construction designed to stop enemy tanks from going through. Luckily, we have a gate we can go through, but these are usually guarded by a turret. As you can see, going through the actual barrier proves impossible. Next up is the canyon, with a bridge for crossing. It is pretty deep and filled with rocks, so falling down would prove fatal. After it is a blockade, with hedgehog barriers like those used on the beaches of Normandy during D-Day stuck in the mud. They'll block your path just like the Siegfried Line, so be careful when driving around these. Then we have some trenches. They were used by the infantry for cover mainly during World War I, and they have some machine gun emplacements. There's usually a turret or two here as well. The trenches themselves are filled with boxes and bags. And now, last but not least, another variant of the river, the city river, which you would typically find in a town or city, as it's filled with concrete. In the middle of these, there's normally a turret guarding the bridge, which you will have to destroy in order to go through. Now, we will move on to what happens when you actually get shot. For this, I'll take out the Jagdpanther. First off, we need to find the turret. There's one. So as you can see, if I hover over it, my targeting cursor turns red, indicating that it's an enemy. Now, I'm going to get closer and let it shoot me. Every time I get shot, a hit arrow tells me from which direction I got shot and how much damage I took. I'm going to let it shoot me several times here until my health goes down. Last shot, I'm dead. My tank is destroyed, it's now a charred hulk. We get a message on the right telling us we were destroyed, and a button in the middle which we can click to go back to the hangar. I'm now going to show the new notifications I added that you get when destroying an enemy turret. As you can see, each time I destroy a turret, I get a little pop-up in the center displaying some information, what I destroyed, with what, how many points I got, etc. My score goes up too, if you look on the top left. Finally, we get a little message on the right telling us we destroyed an enemy turret. Lastly, I want to go over some of the things I have planned to implement in the future. For the hangar, I want to add some new ammo types, so armor piercing, high explosive, that you can choose in the hangar. Each one would have a different use. I will also add upgrades for each tank, a more powerful gun, a better engine, stronger tracks, etc. This will eventually lead to better tanks along the technology tree, but I do not have enough tanks just yet. The way you can unlock these upgrades will be with investigation points or something along the lines of that. I will also add all the hangars you can unlock, for example a plane hangar, meaning you will be able to call in airstrikes sometimes, or say artillery barrages. As I said earlier, I will also keep working on the settings. For the actual gameplay itself, I plan to implement the other turrets I made, the unarmored one and the flamethrower. I might also implement enemy tanks, which will be driven by AI. I will also implement some new particle effects, for example fires when you destroy a turret or your tank explodes. And lastly, I'll add some new terrain tiles and maybe even new biomes with different trees. Well, that sums up everything for this video. I will post a video each time I get one of those tasks done, hopefully more frequently from now on. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see this game's progress. See ya!